Now we hug a little longer, yeah, we kiss a little stronger. Treat our neighbor and a stranger as a friend. Yeah, we're all a little kinder, let the earth be a reminder. We're hoping baby grow, love has no end. For all we know, we didn't know. We learned it all the year we stayed home.
Woohoo! Skylar, Faith, I'm going to need a little assistance from you again. What episode are we on tonight?
74.
Yeah!
Episode 70.
Whoa, wow.
74. It's that dust plume that's crossing the country. Have you heard about this? There's a dust plume and it's heading at us. That's right. Don't be afraid of the murder hornets or anything else that might be going on now. It's a dust plume. I don't know. I read about it. And they're not making a big deal, so maybe it's nothing. Hey, hi, Raymond. Hi, Colin is on. So good to see you guys. Julia's on. Yay, your cousin is on. Happy 74th episode. Happy Pride. Happy to be here. Happy and grateful to be healthy and in our homes. We missed you. As you know, we took a couple weeks off, giving space to all of the people with so many important things to say, all of the protests, all the marches, just, taking time to listen and to understand all that we don't understand. And we were happy to do that and got a couple minutes in with friends with this community where we came in and we sang a song here and there. I sang a song here and there. And Andrew filmed it, and Skylar Faith was our stage manager, and we did our little thing that we did, and then we decided we were gonna come back, right? We were gonna come back and do a few more, so we're doing a few more. Okay, so if you're tuning in for the first time or for the 74th time, here's our crew. It's our party of three. This is he started out as a cameraman, but so much more. He became my graphics department, my set design, my bartender-ish, kind of, right?
Sure.
I mean, really, my, what else are you? Hospitality, director, editor. Oh my goodness. Yes, well, no, that's you. Andrew McGinnis on All Things Important.
Bing! For Colin.
Yeah, also, we should get a sound effect for that.
I
And
know,
of
right?
course, my audience of one and my stage manager, who always lets us know what time it is, who always tells us what episode we're on. Skylar Faith.
Wow.
Because I love your very Alexis headband. You're making me so happy with that. So cute. How's everyone doing today? Are you hanging in there? What's happening in your state? It's crazy. We had this vision that we would start this at a time when everyone was at home and there was social isolation happening, and I certainly wasn't touring or performing, and I thought this would be a nice way to reach out to our community, to tell you how much we loved you, and to get information shared. Because people were having different experiences in all different parts of the country, all different parts of the world, and I thought it would be really good to check in with our friends and see how they're doing. And that this would be a format, basically like a chat format, to celebrate people and lift people up and to say, hey, what do you know that we don't know? I thought we'd be at this like 2 weeks, maybe 3. We were at it for a lot more, 11, 12, something like that. And during this time, we've been on this roller coaster ride, all of us, where some states opened early, some states didn't open at all, some states are still barely open, some states are all the way open, and everyone's having a shared, different experience, and we try to honor that here. Totally, but what's happening? What's happening? So what we try to do every night is bring you a little music, bring you a little love, and introduce you to some of the people who have helped carry me through for many, many years. People who have lifted me up, people who have supported me, supported my art, but people whose art has been a huge reason why I have stayed sane. And so it's been a real blessing to check in with, what was it, Andrew? Like over 140 artists I think we've had so far.
Guests.
All guests. All artists. They're all beautiful artists in some way. They're either artists of the mind, or they're singers, or songwriters, or poets, or therapists, and we've got 2 great ones for you tonight. First, what did we do today? We did some swimming. You did an acting class with Aunt Kelly. We ran over our lines for The Wizard of Oz. Thank you, Miss Becky. We'll tell you about that. That's for next week. What else? And we just had some lunch, and we had a very European lunch. That's what we did today. Apple slices and cheese. That's great. Outside, no bugs, no whammies. Let's see who's on, and then we'll get to our first guest. Zach is on. Hey, good to see you, Zach. Joel is on. Hey, Jennifer Horth. Yay, Wisconsin. We are all over the U.S. of A. Is rocking it tonight. Hi, Carrie. I try to scroll and try to see who might be here. Hey, Rochelle is on. I love when you guys wave to me, and then I try to grab you. Hi, Kim. Hi, Louisa. My heart's been with you, Louisa. I'm thinking about you. That's the other thing that we've noticed is during this time, life still continues on, and people are trying to dodge this virus. Some people have gotten very sick from it. Some of our friends back east have passed away from it, and we have been trying to hold them in our hearts, but also life goes on, and people are also suffering from other things, and a lot of our friends are losing people for lots of different things, and we try to lift them up and give them some love over these crazy virtual airwaves that we're on. So we're always with our tribe. We love you, tribe. We miss you. All right, here we go. Let's start with our first guest this evening. I'm so excited. I've been hoping to have this friend of mine on, and we've been friends for years now. Thanks to our mutual friend Ryan Forbes. I've been trying to have this guest on for a while. His art is beautiful. He is the lead acrobatic director for a troupe that I love, a wonderful collaboration of artists that has inspired me, touched me, moved me, lifted me up, and made me cry, including today when I listened to the music again and watched the trailer for many, many years. Of a beautiful performing group that you know as Cirque du Soleil. He himself is incredibly beautifully talented and wonderful and just joyful to be around. And he was working on a production of one of their most beautiful, beautiful presentations, Alegria. And I have an interesting relationship with Alegria too. I know the soundtrack so incredibly well because I used to play this over and over and over and over and over in my car, in my home. It was the background of many, many moments in my life, and the music really speaks to me. So when we were kind of prepping for this today, we were listening to it in the background and watching the trailer, and I thought, oh my gosh, all those feels are coming back. So before we introduce you to our friend, let's look at a little bit of this gorgeous production. This is Alegria, Cirque du Soleil.
Give me 1 second. There we go.
Was what the? I think that was Gabriella, right? I feel you, sweetheart. I feel the what the. What is that? So many emotions go through my head when I see that. Oh, we love Cirque. Can you believe that? And that was just watching it in this dimension, right? And you're kind of like your mouth is dropping, and you're like, what are they doing? How did they do that? What's happening? And now imagine seeing that live and in person. Oh my gosh. Well, we're really lucky that we know someone very closely associated with that beautiful production, a friend of ours. I'm really happy he can join us today, and I want to welcome him to Randy's Live. Here is our friend, Marshall Nelson. Hey, Marshall. There you are. Let's see if we got you.
Hello.
Hello. How are you? I'm so happy to see you. So first of all, why don't you tell my viewers, we have some viewers from all over the country watching tonight. Tell us where you are calling in from.
I am at home in Greeley, Colorado.
Colorado. We have dear friends in Colorado, some of whom are on right now. Yay. It's great to see you. I'm personally really happy to see you. Tell us, so we all just watched that insane trailer, and I don't know if you had the comments on, but one of the comments was like, what the, which I think perfectly sums it up if you're not, like, if you haven't been, you know, a fan of Cirque, or maybe you don't know what to expect, that's exactly what you think, what the. And so tell me a little bit of of what you were working on, what was going on, and your involvement with that production before this pandemic happened. What's your relationship with Cirque?
Well, I have to say, hearing the music, again, just from it, it's still right there. It's been the project that I've been working on for the last year and a half, at least, a little bit more than that. It has been quite a road. We were most recently in Houston, Texas. We had spent a good 6-7 months in creation in Montreal, starting in the fall of 2018. We opened in Montreal in April of 2019. Mm-hmm. We spent most of the year in Canada, and we had just completed we were in our second city of our U.S. North American tour. Mm-hmm. We started off in Miami, and we were in Houston. That's when everything came to a bit of a halt.
Everything stopped. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm glad you explained that, because a lot of people might actually know Cirque from some of their residency performances, right? Like specifically in Las Vegas. But your production actually was a touring production where you moved from city to city. So you were taking this enormous group of athletes, actors, acrobats, musicians, and they were moving from city to city when this happened. So what exactly, what is your, so you're a director, and when we look at something like that, honestly, and I've known you for a long time and been a fan of Cirque for a long time, so what does director encompass in that world? Like, are you directing certain acts? Are you directing, tell me that, tell me your role as it relates to the touring productions of Cirque.
So my role on Alegria, I was the head acrobatic coach on Alegria. So during creation, your Alegria, the history of Alegria is something that's very special, especially for Cirque du Soleil. It's one of its original touring productions. Yes. One of the most successful shows in Cirque history. It ran for nearly 20 years, and it shut down for about 5 or 6 years, but Cirque decided to reinvent it and re-release it. Yes. And that's why it's called Alegria in a New Light.
Oh, yes, I love that.
And and it was a really special project to be a part of. And my connection to it goes deep as well. When I was a gymnast competing, and one of my older teammates who retired, he went on to join Cirque for the first time, and this was the show that he helped create as an artist. Beautiful. And he was the one that really kind of tied in my dreams of becoming part of this creative industry and outlet. So. That's amazing. And it was directed by Franco Dragone, who was with Cirque du Soleil for a long time. Amazing. Who I also worked for, when he started his own company. Mm-hmm. So Alegria was really kind of a full circle moment for me, and it was wonderful. So my role specifically is the head acrobatic coach. Amazing. And so involved in taking care of the athletes, number one, and the artists. Mm-hmm. And then helping to work with the creative team to really find the direction of what we want to create for each act in specifically. So and it takes a whole team. You from every aspect. I'm sure. Not just the artist and the athlete, but the design of the stage, and the music obviously plays a big part of the inspiration and the feel of each act, and then what we do acrobatically. It's enormous.
I know a few musicians who have toured with the Cirque productions. Actually, a few friends of mine from back east are touring musicians, and it's enormous. And because I'm kind of a Cirque freak fan, I've watched a lot of the behind the scenes, and I've seen a lot of the documentaries, and so I know that it's these international cast from all over, many of whom bring these acts to you, and then you find a way to sort of tell these stories, which leads me to my next part of the question, which is, we had a dear friend of mine who was working on a cruise ship, an international cruise ship, and when this happened, it was such an interesting experience because all of the artists were flying back to their respective countries, but some weren't allowed into the country. So when you got the word that obviously things were closing, theater was done, we were on full stop with this, what was it like getting a troupe of that number of actors and acrobats and musicians from around the world back to their respective places? I mean, I can only imagine that it had to be like crazy, right? Did everyone leave at the same time, or was it staggered, or was it like, what happened?
Well, it was quite a week. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
And things were literally changing on an hourly basis.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In terms of the information coming in,
Yes.
and what we were going to do,
Yes.
how we were going to manage it.
Everywhere.
And yeah, we have a cast of artists from all over the world, literally.
Crazy.
So, and different borders were closing earlier than others.
Right.
And so.
So it's crazy. It's
God bless our company management. The team that we had has an enormous experience with Cirque, and they took care of everybody extremely well. Despite the uncertainty of it all, they were able to make the arrangements for everybody, and people had the choice some people had a choice, some people didn't, whether they needed to get back home immediately, or whether they wanted to stay in the States and kind of wait it out and see what the future was. So, it was every situation was a little bit different. But within probably 4 or 5 days, pretty much everyone was either on their way home or
wherever they were going to wind up. Yeah.
Shut it down. Yeah.
So
it was pretty remarkable, really.
Well, I'm glad to hear that the company took care of them, but I'm not surprised. There's so much heart in that whole production and in Cirque in general that I'm, and they are, known for being an internationally very diverse cast. So I'm not surprised that they take care of, that community of performers. My last question is just sort of something that none of us know. During this process, I've probably interviewed about 20 Broadway actors or performers, musicians from all over the world. Nobody really knows what's happening. Artists that thought they might be going back to their full capacity theaters in September are now getting a notice that it could be as far as January. I just recently did my first live in-person concert, but it was to a theater that was, I think, oh my gosh, maybe 25% capacity with social distancing. The productions are clearly halted. Nobody's sure what's happening, right? We don't know.
Nobody's sure what's happening.
Right.
Really, nobody's sure what's happening or what the timeline is.
Or what theater's going to look like.
Huh?
Or what it will look like, right? I mean,
Right, exactly. Right. Exactly. And something about our production in particular is it's a big top. The big top tour is kind of Cirque's bread and butter. It's creating an environment where people can really experience something together and a feeling together. So, and that means in a big top where there's 2,500 people.
Yes.
And it's an environment. And that's the beauty of what we do. As with any theatrical performance, it's about that relationship with the audience. So, the industry will come back. There's no question. It's going to look different, and we don't know the timeline. And that's what's hard for everyone, especially because timing is everything, and careers, you never know what's going to happen. So to especially on an acrobatic career, to take a pause on something that your body needs to do. It's so everyone's trying to figure it out, and everyone's trying to stay connected and stay together. It's kind of like a zoom out. We've all had to zoom out for a little bit to think about what's happening.
I think that's true of all of these large productions. I loved what you said. I feel it 100% what you said, Marshall, about the pulse of the audience, sort of heart beating together in these somewhat crammed, not crammed, but you know what I mean, like very togetherness situations where you're sitting around and you're all having the experience, and that's part of what's so breathtaking about the Cirque experience. So, you know, I mean, you know, we're huge fans, and we are hoping that everything comes back, but we also know that this virus, unfortunately, has to run its course, and
exactly. No,
and
of course.
we're just all on this, you know, path of like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, but we'll learn patience through it, you know. So
absolutely. We're all supposed to be learning something else right now, for whatever reason,
yes, we are.
and so.
Well, you gave me a really good segue to my next segment of questions here. So I have interviewed people from all over, and I try to get some perspective, especially from artists who are not, I mean, everyone's sort of finding their ways to be creative, but not everyone is able to really do what, you know, their number one thing. They're doing like alternate versions of it, right? You know?
Right.
So during this time, what have you found to be sort of a silver lining of it? I mean, knowing that you're not with your troupe, you're not with your acrobats, you're not working, you're not under the big top, you're not in the city. Has there been some sort of a silver lining that you can share with our viewers from this time that you found?
Of course. I mean, as difficult and as abrupt as it has all been, I've been able to be home for the first time for more than 3 or 4 days.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
At a time, and I've been actually doing lots of work in the garden, and spending time in nature has been something that's been a very therapeutic and I guess given me, you know, time to reflect on everything. But I think other than trying to keep my head up about everything and taking care of my body, hopefully I did Meatless May for the first time.
I love that. Oh my gosh, I wish I had known that hashtag. I feel a theme coming on. Meatless May, hashtag it, people. You heard it here first. I love it.
Right, so that was good, you know, and actually, because the environment has been so intense, especially going through a creation and an opening of a show and getting it off the ground. It's all encompassing, you know. Yes. So then having actual time, which I'm not used to, is focused, allowed me to focus. On.
I hear you.
Putting energy in different directions, and sometimes it's uncomfortable, and sometimes it's not easy, but again, I think. Whatever is happening right now, we need to find purpose in it within ourselves. Agreed. And share and spread the love and keep the community together as much as we can.
Well, first of all, my friends that are watching, and you have a lot of your friends on, like Wendy is on, and Shauna is on, and Ryan is on.
Yay!
We're all sending love. We, of course, know that that's who you are, and that's what you encompass as a human, you know, and that's part of the reason that you're part of our tribe. We love you so much for that, and, of course, you're going to try to find, you know, a way to sort of make the most out of this really difficult time, knowing that it's really hard, especially when you, like you said, you put in the training aspect of it, the gymnast and acrobat aspect, I know, but I appreciate you checking in and letting us, you know, not only see the beauty for some people who maybe were not familiar with Allegria, but now are, and to, you know, think about that, but also to just let us know how you're doing. And it's really good to see you. I have to say, too, by the way, you being on this break, Marshall, is probably the most that I have actually seen you in like 5 years. I saw you on 2 Zooms in like 3 months.
I know.
When Marshall was just like a myth. He was like a myth. He was in some exotic land, creating some exotic art somewhere, and we were just all living vicariously like, what's he doing? Who's he with? What's happening? So it's a blessing for us that I've actually been able to connect with you a little bit over this time. But I know that you're making the most of it, and we love you and hope that you get back to doing you as soon as, you know, we can, you know?
Absolutely, and honestly, it's been wonderful to reconnect with you as well, and I love what you guys have been doing. It's been such a blessing, and I'm total fan of Randi Driscoll.
We're all trying. Okay, well, I love you. Thank you for sharing with us tonight. Thanks for checking in, letting us know how you're doing, talking to us about Cirque. When you do speak with the performers and the people that you keep in contact with, give everyone our love. Let them know how much we appreciate the art that you make and how significant and important it is in our lives. And we will see you for sure on the other side of this, okay, my friend?
Excellent.
Okay,
Thank
I
you,
love
Randi.
you, Marshall. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Mwah. Thanks, Marshall.
Keep sharing the love. Keep sharing the
Peace.
love.
Oh, just a really, I mean, you know, you're my tribe. You know my tribe. That's you guys. He's just a good person. He's a wonderful soul, fantastically talented. And, you know, we kind of love Cirque around here. We took Skylar to see her first Cirque production, which was a traveling production when she was very little. And it's just because it's so much artistry. And we need 2 hours to talk about really all the acts and all the different things that they do to put together the show, which makes you're looking over here with the artistry there, and then you're listening to the pulse of the music, and then you're looking over there, and then there's musicians, and then there's the clowning. It's just insane. And I'm really glad that he, you know, and the thing about Marshall too is, of course, he's going to have a smile on it and talk about this, but we're all on a break, and none of us, especially in the arts and entertainment industry, when it comes to live theater, we don't know what's happening. We don't know. And we're trying to figure out what it could look like and what it might look like, but we're just a little bit unsure. So this is great, and I'm so grateful to have this connection with you guys. It means a lot to me. But also, truthfully, you know, that is a staple of what we do. It's a staple, and you could not, I mean, maybe they'll find a way to do it. You watch Cirque that way, but really, them flying over your head is what kind of makes your heart stop when you're watching it. So anyway, thank you, Marshall. We love you very much. I'm so happy to see all my friends on tonight. Hi, Renee. Hey, Daniel. Jersey, and Jersey is representing. Can I just say that there's a strong Midwest force this evening? California. Hi, Holly. A couple things to tell you about. Tomorrow night I'm doing my previously scheduled concert that we canceled a few weeks ago. It will be happening tomorrow live from my living room to your screen. I'm going to do some old songs that have been requested, and I kept meaning to do them, and I'm going to do some new songs that I've just recorded in Nashville recently, and some brand new ones that I wrote sort of during this time. And I'm going to tell you some super fun stories behind the songs that you've never heard. That's right. Even those of you that think you know all the stories, you don't. There's a couple stories I've never shared, and I just said it. I'm going to share them tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, I'm super excited about this. I'm so excited I used all my colored ink. I am doing North Jersey Pride. What? I will post this so you can see it. North Jersey Pride comes to you normally live from the park in Maplewood, New Jersey. That's right, but not this year. It's virtual. I'm performing apparently with Kesha. This is very exciting. Haviland is coming, yay, for the Rain Foundation. Oh, Congress. Oh my goodness, Cory Booker. Lots of amazing speakers and singers, and I'll be there. Judy Shepard will be speaking a little bit. That Sunday we'll put the place to stream it up. So happy Pride. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would. We only ask that because as we find other ways to stream our live show, it would be great if you could click on it and subscribe. We get lots of other options for streaming and stuff if we get over like a certain number of subscribers. Whoop, 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 whoop. And there you go. Okay, we have another guest for you because it's Fun Friday and because I know some pretty amazing people, and we took a couple of weeks off. So, and it is our Pride celebration month and weekend, and hey, Gabby's going crazy. Hi, Lena, it's good to see you. I've been really fortunate to meet some people of many, many disciplines in art who use their talents in a lot of different ways. I know for the many weeks that we've been on, we've introduced you to a lot of musicians, a lot of poets, a lot of singers, a lot of songwriters. But I'm very, very fortunate that I know a lot of people that use their eye and their heart to create change, to celebrate diversity, and to really put a light on topics and issues that need to be explored and to be shared about. And one of those beautiful people is not only just one of the sweetest gals that you will ever meet. She's now become a dear friend, and she's a little powerhouse. Her name is Michele, and I wrote down how to pronounce her last name because I've been saying it wrong for years, because when you're friends with somebody, you just say their first name. So Josue, Michele Josue. She's an Emmy award-winning director. She's a production company. They do some incredible things. I personally know her because of her connection and her work with the Matthew Shepard Foundation. You know that organization. They are near and dear to my heart. My connection with them runs many, many, many years now, over 20, through my song What Matters. Judy and Dennis are friends of ours, Logan and Marlo, and everyone that works at the foundation, Jason, of course, and Guy, and all of the beautiful people that work so hard day in and day out to erase hate. That's what they do. We have highlighted the charity twice on the show, and we're going to do it again. MatthewShepard.org. The link will be up below, so that if you want to donate a little bit during this time, if you're able to, know that they are doing the work in the schools to end bullying, and it's Pride Month, so it's great to support our friends at Matthew Shepard Foundation. Michelle's story, however, is very interesting. She actually was a dear friend of Matt Shepard's, and so when it came time for her to finally sort of tell his story through her lens, she did it in the most beautiful way. The story has now been seen and shared by many, many, many people. It won her an Emmy for the beautiful piece. Here is some of the trailer for Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine by our dear sweet friend, Michele Josue.
Matthew Shepard.
I don't know how many times in my life I called him Matthew. It's just always been Matt to me. And he was just my friend.
I can't picture him as an adult. I can't picture him growing up, but that's not the friend I had.
Look, there's my brother. He's awesome. Awesome. Nice, nice.
My son Matthew did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces from the age of 13 till the day he died.
What was tied to this fence about a mile outside of Laramie was not a trick, it was real. The battered body of Matthew Shepard, beaten almost to death, barely alive.
Matthew's mother said, please tell everybody who's listening to go home and give your kids a hug, and don't let a day go by without telling them that you love them. They're very grateful that when they last saw Matthew, his last words to them were, I love you.
I am so pissed off. I can't stop crying.
One thing must remain clear. Hate and prejudice are not American values.
Why did he become the icon?
You don't ever think things like that are going to happen to people that you know or that are close to you.
I don't think we could even talk about it until now.
That's the trailer for Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine, directed and really brought to life by my friend Michele. And I think we're going to try to call her right now so that she can talk to you not only about that beautiful piece, that gorgeous documentary, and her involvement with it and how she came to tell Matt's story through her own eyes and through her experiences knowing him and loving him, but also about her newest release, which is on Netflix. Should we check and see if she's home, Sky? Everybody's home, right? Everyone's home? Should we give her a ring? Okay, we're going to try to call her right now. Skylar's like, yeah! I mean, so far, everyone that we've tried to call is home. You never know. There's going to be one person who's like, I'm busy. I'm not here right now. I'm not here. Let's see if she's around. She's thinking about it. I'm so glad we don't show the number. That would be really
I know, right?
invasive. Well, look at that, Skylar. She is home. Hi, sweetheart. It's nice to see you. This is my friend Michele. So good to see you. Josue. I said I've been saying it a lot now. I was introducing you last night on my show, and I made you very, very French. It was very, very French. It's really good to see you. We just watched that beautiful trailer for Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine. Obviously, that's how we became introduced. Tell our friends and fans, many of whom you know that are on right now, sending you lots of hearts and love. Tell us where you are calling in from tonight, or today. That's a hint. Where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles.
You're in Los Angeles. Of course you are. It looks sunny and beautiful, and you look beautiful. Thank you for being here on Randy's Live. So I was explaining that my relationship with you really is through Judy and Dennis and the foundation and your work with Matt Shepard as a friend of mine. So people saw the trailer, but for the people who may not have seen the film yet, what is your relationship not only to the Shepard family, but how did you come to make this film? Tell us a little about that.
Oh, sure. Well, Matt and I were really close friends at high school, a boarding school in Switzerland. So when he died in 1998, it hit very hard. It was very devastating, not only for me and his close friends and his family, but the entire world. I was always interested in theater. That's how I knew Matt, really wanting to be a director and a storyteller. And so when some time had passed and I had a little bit more perspective, I knew that I owed it to Matt and
his friendship. I owed it to make a testament to his life and to share his story in the sensitive way it deserved to be told. You know, not just focusing on the violence that ended his life, but really his humanity, like how he was such an extraordinary person and he was loved by so many people. So that was really just that was the entire goal. And so when I felt I was fully ready, I approached Judy and Dennis, and they gave me their blessing, and that's how the film began.
And you did it, sweetheart. You did it. For anyone who, I know a lot of my friends that are on right now have seen the film, whether it was on television or they've gone to see it live at one of your Q&As in California. You did it. It's a beautiful story told by a friend of Matt's, and I think it's incredible that you wanted to honor his story in that way. And what's really neat about it, so that you might be compelled during Pride Month to go out and watch it, is it's several of his friends sort of coming together and talking about people who knew him when he was younger. And sometimes when a story like that happens and it comes to the forefront, a lot of the what we learn about the victim, unfortunately, comes from media reports, right, and from others talking, and not necessarily people that knew him firsthand. So it's really beautiful what you did. Obviously, it won you an Emmy for it, which is really, we were so happy to see that. But it's a lovely piece, and I also know, because I know you now, that it wasn't easy to do. I know it was a hard undertaking for you, but I'm so glad that you did that. You toured for a long time with the film. I mean, it seemed like for years, because when I was doing my little research today, when we were pulling up the trailer, what year did you start doing the film, and what year did you release it in? Because I'm so interested in how long things take,
Girl, so long.
Well,
we started the process in 2010.
Yeah.
And then, we went on, did a bit of filming, had to stop down, and then we did Kickstarter campaigns.
Yes, I remember
So it had been years, and then when we did the festival, when we brought it to the festival circuit, it had already been 3 years since we started the project. And then I was on the road with it for another 2 years. So by the time we won the Emmy, which was amazing, it was a 5+ year journey.
Yes.
Of just really sharing it in all corners of the world with as many people that wanted to see it.
I have to be honest with you too. I saw the film years ago. Have not watched it recently. Obviously, saw the trailer just now when we showed it to our friends and followers watching along, and the words, they ring so true in the climate that we're going through right now. Hate and prejudice is a learned behavior. It's not human. It's not, what we should strive for as a collective. So, I mean, obviously, you've been on this path to have people, particularly for you, celebrate Matt's story, right? And come to love him the way that you love him. Your film, has opened hearts and opened minds, and that's just what happens, right, when you share stories like this and you tell them more. And so, are you feeling right now in this sort of, what's the term? Everyone says watershed moment, if that's what it is. It's a moment of awakening, right? It's a moment that a lot of people think it's the cross between the pandemic and people being in their homes, and now, you must be hearing some of these things from that film really replay in your mind, right? About
gosh, absolutely. And it's hard, and I'm a very emotional person. I literally cried at every single Q&A and talking about that.
I know.
But just now, as a person of color, I obviously don't, suffer or can understand the amount of pain that, the Black community is going through or have been going through or endured. But it does resonate with me deeply, and having lost Matt to one of the most notorious hate crimes in our country's history, all of it kind of melts together, and it's just almost overwhelming.
Yes.
But what I've learned, in my journey of making the film and sharing the story, that it's important to share those stories and to remember each other's humanity, and to come together as a community and to realize that we all play an important part, and it ripples out, and you speak to that so beautifully in all your work and everything you do, so it's, with Matt, I became more of an advocate, and I'm always out there championing for LGBTQ rights, and now as a person of color, like those worlds are like really melding for me.
Yes, and I think it's just these constant little reminders that the work is nowhere near done, and we feel like we reach these little milestones, right, and we see change, and we're part of this gorgeous, family of people who are erasing hate through the Matthew Shepard Foundation, right? I noticed you're wearing your purple bracelet. We've got ours on, MatthewShepard.org. If you want to make a donation, it would be wonderful. They go into schools and they teach about anti-bullying, and they do great work. But it just goes to show you that for all the little achievements and all the wins, there's still so much work, right? And I mean, there was just ringing through to me when I was listening to this story that happened over 20 years ago to your dear friend, and we are just still walking the walk of, my new phrase is we're building an army of love, and I feel like we just got to recruit as many people on our army of love as we can, and get out there and do it. So, well, that it's a gorgeous film. Please check it out. Where can we see it right now? Matt Shepard is a friend of mine. Where are we able to see it? If there are people out there that may not have seen it yet, where can they find it?
You can find it on, I think, Amazon and YouTube, and also on our website, MattShepardIsAFriendOfMine.com. If you want to acquire just your own, download copy of it, or an actual DVD, or an educational version of it,
yes,
we have it there.
That's great too. I was going to say that it definitely has the educational tool, and it's really good for teaching these important stories and sharing them. Okay, so when we're done with you, when I finally stop talking and let you go, put that link below so that we can all find it. So now, moving from that beautiful piece, which obviously we had to talk about, and Happy Pride and celebrating all
Happy
that.
Pride.
Brings me to something other happy, which is your release on Netflix that is available to watch and stream right now. And we all know everybody is Netflixing and chilling all over the place because that's what you're doing. So tell me about Happy Jail. So we have watched this. I have a million questions. I'm feeling all kinds of like fangirly, wanting to know. Explain to that. Do we have like a little clip? Okay, so we don't have the trailer, but if we can do a little split screen here, we're gonna just remind people of the initial video of the prisoners in this jail in Cebu in the Philippines. They released this song where they were doing what I like to call this prisoner flash mob, right? I mean, that's what it was. It was a prisoner flash mob with, thousands of inmates dancing to Michael Jackson's Thriller. This might sort of jog your memory. Maybe you saw this going viral a mazillion years ago. Take a look at this. See if we can play it. Yep. So we're showing a little of this video. The audio's off, but just there they are, all in their orange. And if you remember, these were inmates that were doing this incredibly coordinated dance, right? I mean, just insane. Thousands of them with like we did Thriller once in my living room after a party, and I thought all 10 of us had it really good. This was insane. So tell us, I have to know. So you did this docuseries. It's a several-part docuseries on the inmates and the story surrounding these inmates. First, you have to explain to me, because I'm your friend, how we went from telling this beautiful story about your friend Matt and then traveling all the way across the world to tell the story of these inmates in this Cebu jail. Tell us.
I saw that video on YouTube, loved it, instantly connected with it because I'm Filipino American.
Yes.
And, I was fascinated by it, and just really proud. That's the Filipino spirit right there. Just so joyful and creative and just full of flair, I guess.
Yeah, flair. So extra. Yes.
I wanted to revisit that as soon as the Matt Shepard Is a Friend of Mine film was done. So, I was able to switch gears, and I just wrote the consultant, the person who's in charge of the jail. I found him on Facebook, and I messaged him, and I was like, "Hey,
really?
I'm visiting my parents. I would love to check out the jail and see, these famous dancing inmates perform." And he's like,
"Wow,
come on in."
Wow.
So he gave us full access, and without his trust, without that access, we wouldn't have had this great project or this great series for the rest of the world to see.
That is a story that it's breaking news, folks. I did not know that. I didn't know that you could just email someone on Facebook and then there you go. Well, it's riveting, it's compelling, it's in some parts, spoiler alert, not so happy. Parts of it are not so happy.
Yeah.
But it is really amazing. Did you use, it looked like there was other crews there? Did you just bring your core crew, or was that out for you guys? Or was it, oh, she's shaking her head. I don't know what that means.
No.
Tell us. Really? Just
we're
you guys?
so DIY. So like at the most there was maybe like 4 of us, but most of the time it was like me and Craig, who's the cinematographer.
Yes, amazing. By the way, amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Well, it is. I mean, I don't want to say too much because I want people to watch it. You can grab it right now. It's streaming right now.
Please.
The stories that you tell are, touching. Again, I mean, it's completely different than Matt Shepard is a friend of mine. Completely different, a very personal, experience versus this. But I'm also finding myself connecting with these characters. You really. The stories are intense and they're insane, and I just want to I want to not give any spoilers for that, but I do want to mention that in the news I read recently, and I'm guessing you might have too, that there was a COVID outbreak at the jail. Now, and when you see the conditions, which is part of the story that she's telling, and she does, her crew, Michelle's crew, they really get in there, and they really are allowed in with the inmates, like right in there, and you see everything. You see the way they're living, the way they're eating, their everything. And so when I heard the first thing that we thought of when this outbreak happened, and they started saying jails and penitentiaries and inmates, have you heard anything about that? I mean, do you know? Are you able to get any information now about what's happening with COVID and that particular prison?
It's really hard to find out any sort of. It's really hard to find out any impartial news and to get the accurate reporting of what's going on there, just because politically speaking, it's a really controversial time in the country.
Right.
But as you saw in the show, overcrowding of the jail system, not only at that jail but across the whole country, is just an enormous problem.
Yes.
So the jail in the show was built for 1,600 inmates, and when we were there was 3,000 plus. So social distancing,
it's impossible. Impossible. Yes.
It's impossible. So when COVID hit, in the back of my mind, I was always just thinking about how all those inmates and everyone in there were going to be in such danger. So I know that there was a big outbreak in all the jails in that area, and I kind of just keep checking in.
Yes,
but
I'm sure you do.
You don't really know much.
No, you can't. I'm amazed that you got as far in as you did, honestly. I'm amazed that you got as much access. Well, I want to encourage everyone to go watch it. It's fascinating, and it's the dancing is a part of it. There's so many layers to this story, though, honestly. I mean, if you think you're going to watch something about how they all learn to dance, that's not it. But that part is kind of fascinating, too. The most incredible flash mob. Well, thank you for being here tonight with our friends that are on. Everyone's saying hello to you. Everyone giving you hearts and love. I want to make sure that you post your information for your website below. Again, it's MatthewShepard.org. And so now, I'm turning into some sort of like talk show variety host here. So I like to ask people some questions, and we've had people on from all over the world, and I'm trying to get some perspective because we're all sharing a very similar but different experience. So you're well traveled. You've traveled all over. You've seen so much. You've shown so many things through your lens. At this point, we're like 3 months in. What have you learned from this experience? What would you say you have learned from this that you might share? And that can be as deep, as heavy, I know, right? But I'm going to go deep with you. I had easier questions, but you don't get those. You get the deep one. What have you learned, or like something that, because especially for people that spend a lot of time thinking about the human condition, it's interesting to hear their perspective at a time like this. So what do you think you've learned?
Oh, good Lord. We're in the quote-unquote unprecedented times, right? And sort of this forced pause button, this forced quietude where you really are forced to kind of reflect and think about things. And I'm like a chronic overthinker, so I've been doing that a lot. And it's the same lessons that I have to keep learning over and over and over again, like in all the difficult parts of my life. It's just about gratitude and what I want to contribute to the world. And we're seeing sort of all this tumultuousness, and I want to know what I can do to make a difference and to inspire people and encourage a more compassionate, accepting society. And I know what I can do is through my work, through storytelling. I feel going through COVID and going through the Black Lives Matter movement that's happening right now, I'm more, invigorated in terms of my advocacy and in terms of my art. Like I recommitted to, wanting to hear diverse voices and empowering other types of stories.
Yes. Yes.
Doing that type of thing. So, I mean, that's kind of where my mind is right now.
It's great. It's great. We need you and all the filmmakers and the storytellers to do more of that. And so we appreciate all the art that you're putting out there. Don't stop. Keep doing it. I'm really happy to see you. I want to be hugging you and having breakfast with you and taking funny selfies really soon. But I know that we'll do that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing a little bit of what you've been working on. We will check out all of your beautiful art that we can. Put your links below, and just know that I love you, and I'm so glad that our paths brought us together, okay? Stay safe, all right?
You too.
Love you,
Love
friend.
you guys.
Bye. That's Michele Josue. See, I got it now. I could say that all day. She's proud of me. Isn't she wonderful? She's darling. She's sweet. She's a little powerhouse. Watch Happy Jail. It's fascinating. It really is. It's heartbreaking in a lot of ways. Makes you appreciate a lot of things, and it makes you think. It opens your mind. Look at all the people on. We've only got 2 quick things to do before we say hi, Janice. 2 quick things. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you, Janice. Turn the camera toward Skylar really fast. For Janice. Say hi. It's a friend of ours from Huntington Beach. Hi, Roxanne. Okay, here we go. You know it's Friday, and there's a segment we try to do on Fridays, and we're gonna zoom through it because we're getting close to an hour here, so we're gonna zoom through. It is time for Mixin'.
Oh, there it is.
With McGinnis. There it is, and Skylar wants you to know that she likes to call this segment Drinks with Daddy, which I don't think is appropriate.
Right?
So how are we gonna do this, honey?
You're just gonna take the camera.
Okay, here we go.
This is gonna be quick.
Oh, am I doing it?
Well, yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Look at, I can see. Okay. Oh, it's hard to do this without shaking. Oh, honey,
Right?
I have
It
so
is
much.
hard to do that without
Look, I'm
shaking.
shooting you through a boa. I'm
Hey,
sure
everybody.
people would like to see your face.
Okay. So
Wait, I gotta
wanna-
back up, honey. Hold on, I gotta back up. All right, I can't. I'm framing you. Okay.
Oh, you're
Hi,
framing.
Gabby. Gabby's working with a new font there. Okay, I see it.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Let's just. Don't didn't melt too much. Okay. So normally on Fridays we'll do a cocktail, but today we are doing a shot.
We are.
In honor of Pride,
Woo!
I figured we would make the Starburst shot. Now, there are many versions of this. However, I was introduced to this shot at a bar called Happy Hour in Newark, New Jersey, thanks to Will Richter.
Okay, Will.
He gave me quite a few shots one night.
Oh,
but
wait,
we'll go
like
into that.
couple,
Anyway,
too many.
the Starburst shot. It's a vodka shot, flavored vodka shot with... Now, usually they did Smirnoff, but we don't have it. I couldn't get them. So I did the 99 brand. It's a Kentucky vodka, apparently.
Ooh.
Flavored vodkas. Black cherry, red. This one is peach, orange. Yellow, we got banana.
Skylar, it's all the
Apple,
colors
green.
of the
Grape, purple.
rainbow.
So, in honor of Pride, we're doing a rainbow shot. Now, so, again, I do not measure, but we're not going to put every...
Will you ever measure, or that's never going to happen?
I'm
Measure
never
by
gonna
measure.
measure.
Okay, I'm never going to measure.
No? All right, we'll just pour...
I like our
flavor
makeshift
in.
bar tonight. This is fantastic.
Wait.
We couldn't go downstairs today because the house is a mess. So we're just mixing with...
So, are these colors?
They're not. They're flavored.
They're flavors. You're like, wow, that's a lot of vodka. Well,
Yeah, Dad? What's happening here? Is this a shot ski?
It is a shot.
It's a shot ski. Thank you, Andy Cohen.
Minus the ski.
Okay.
It's just going to be a shot.
You didn't pre-open. You're opening all. Okay,
I know, I
he's
should've
literally
pre-opened, I'm
literally
sorry.
just pouring different.
And then
Oh God, it's okay.
Red Bull.
Aperitifs with Andrew. Jennifer says.
Absolutely.
I love that.
A little bit.
I guess this is a true.
That's a Matthew Shepard Foundation signed by Judy Shepard Bear on the right. That's a lava lamp. Okay, some Randi music, a couple teddy bears.
Shake.
Lightly shake. Oh,
Well,
that's
because
right.
It has Red Bull, so it'll fizz up. All right, here we go.
Oh, I can smell it from here. It's
I know,
very it's you know what's the word? It's very aromatic.
Okay. Do you want to give it to Sky? Because I'm.
No, I don't want to give a shot to Sky. No,
No,
I'm
no.
sure that's
Give
not
the
what you
camera
meant.
to
Yes,
Sky.
let's give this camera. Here we go.
Grab the camera.
Here we go.
Mommy's got that. I'll come over here.
Here we go. Should we
Quick,
try
we're gonna
it?
Cheers.
Wait.
Cheers.
Ready?
Here we go.
Cheers,
Happy
you guys.
Pride. Yeah. Oh,
Without. Here we go. Happy
And
Pride.
cheers,
Oh, you
okay,
did. All
good.
right.
Oh, it does taste like a Starburst.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Now,
It's something. Yeah.
yeah, it's something.
I
Oh,
kind of
you
want to
sipped it.
feel.
Okay.
I kind of want to film the show.
Okay. No,
You
I
did?
think
All
we're
right.
okay.
All right, hold on. Woo!
Woo! That was
Just a note, you don't have to use those particular flavors.
There's a wind that blows from here to South Dakota. There's a fire that whips right through the sky in old Santa Fe. There's a girl somewhere asleep in San Antonio, and a boy that feels it out in West LA. There's a million voices singing by the river. There's 100 lovers dancing in the sand. There's a bridge that brings the two sides together, and a piece that paints the skyline of the land. Oh, the lights on the water, the tides of change around the seas. Oh, better tell all your sons and daughters, no matter how you see it, what you see is love. Yeah. Love. There's a place in Colorado near the mountains. There's a prairie in Wyoming where the air is clean, and a mother and a father stand together. There's a school down in Atlanta and a church in New Orleans. There's a million voices singing by the river, and their children's children hold each other's hand. Near a place that day where all the hate was buried, and the tide swept away the troubled sand. Oh, the lights on the water, the colors of the rainbow light the sky. Oh, bless all your precious sons and daughters, so they may never have to know how hard we had to fight for love. Yeah, it's all just love. Love is love is love. For love. Love is love is love, and oh, a new day is here. And all you gotta do is just believe. And when the night is over and the morning sun appears, it shines down, it shines down. There's a place near Alabama. There's a wind that burns right through the sky in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. There's a girl somewhere asleep right in your city, in the dream that she dreams is love. It's just love. Love is love. Love is love. Love is love is love is love is love is love is.
Happy Pride, y'all! We will see you tomorrow night for my concert right here in my living room. What, Daddy, with the graphic?
What?
You're busy tonight, mixing with McGinnis. If you made that shot, good luck. It is woo! Taste the rainbow. Taste something.
Yeah,
Come on, sweetheart.
I think it's affecting me.
I'm happy to see you. Yes, you can play. Come to my concert tomorrow, please. Free admission. Come on. I'll be playing some old songs, some new songs, and telling you some stories you've never heard. That's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock California, 7 o'clock in New York. And of course, you will definitely be able to always view it afterwards on Facebook or on YouTube. Big thanks to Andrew for all of his hard work tonight, making all of this stuff happen. Skylar Faith for being a great audience. And to everyone who watches, we really love you. We're glad to be back. And to our beautiful guests, Marshall and Michelle, thank you for checking in with us. Thank you for much for the art that you do. We love you. We love you. Nice to see you guys.